The LG OLED 2022 prices are now available. And with that, hopefully I can help you guys make a better decision on which LG OLED to buy if you are in the market for an LG OLED TV. This is going to be a pretty good year for LG OLED in my opinion. I think you have two different choices. You have the 2021 route or you have the 2022 route. And I think both of these routes are really good options for different people. And I'm going to talk about what I mean by that in just a little bit. As always, I'll have the product links for everything that I talk about in this video, and these are affiliate links, so if you click them and you buy anything at all from the website, it will help out the channel, so thank you guys so much for doing that. I want to send a big shout out to High Def News on Twitter. He's the one that alerted me with these prices. Thank you, man. I really appreciate you. Alright, here on screen I have the LG C2 and G2 prices. Overall, nothing really shocking here to me. Let's move on to the model breakdown so I can help you make a better decision on which TV to buy. Now remember, these are pre-2022 TV review notes, so things could change after the initial review, so please keep that in mind. Okay, so before we break it down, let's get into the numbers and the letters. So when you see a 1 at the end of the TVs, that's a 2021 model. When you see a 2, that's a 2022 model. So that's something you always want to remember in your head. The A series is going to be a 60 Hz panel. This is going to be kind of your budget series. You want to only look at this if you're not a gamer and if you really don't care about 120 Hz refresh rate. These are the only times I could ever even recommend this TV because I think just spending a little bit more to the C series is usually always going to be worth it for most people, and I think you'll thank yourself later for doing it. Now the C series is what everybody thinks of when they think of LG OLED. This is the one that most people get pushed towards. This is the series that kind of offers you the best bang for your buck. In my opinion, the C series has been an excellent series of TVs over the years, and it just keeps getting better with each year it seems. So if you heard a lot of hype about LG OLED, or if you've seen somebody say, hey, you gotta buy this LG OLED, most likely they're talking about the C series. It's the most popular series among LG OLEDs. Moving on, we have the G series. The G series is what they call the Gallery series. This is the more premium model from LG. This is going to be a brighter display overall, and also it's going to be meant to be wall mounted. The reason why I say it's meant to be wall mounted is because it doesn't come with a stand at all, and it looks really good when you do mount it on the wall. So keep that in mind if you buy a G series. You don't get a stand. Another really unique thing about the G series is that it comes with a 5-year warranty. So if you're somebody that might be thinking about buying a 5-year warranty already from Best Buy, maybe think about getting the G series that comes with a 5-year warranty from LG. And yes, this is confirmed to protect against burn-in. Alright, let's talk about each model one by one. So let's go over the 2022 models first. We're going to talk about the LG C2. As you can see on the screen right now, we have the prices for the LG C2 up, and next to it we have the LG C1 prices. I did this because those of you that are choosing between these C models, you're probably thinking, what am I getting and what am I gaining? So that's what we're going to talk about right now. So the difference between the C2 and the C1 this year is going to be brightness. The C2 is going to be brighter than the C1. From the press events that have come out so far, we have heard the C2 is indeed brighter than the C1. LG has said this before as well, and that is because of the new panel that they're using. They're using the latest and greatest panel from LG Display, which is the EX technology most likely. Now there's no confirmation on that, but LG Electronics has stated that they are using the latest and greatest panel. And from the press events, we get the sense that it is a brighter OLED overall. Aside from brightness, what are you really gaining with the C2 over the C1? Processing. Processing is going to be better in the C2 than it was on the C1. One big thing that I had from last year is that I thought the Sony A80J had better picture clarity than the LG C1. And so this year, I'm hoping that the LG C2 is going to have similar picture clarity to the A80J from Sony, or exceed it. So yeah, it's definitely going to be brightness and processing that matters the most with the LG C2 versus the C1. Now you can see the price differences here. Is it really going to be worth it for you at the end of the day to buy a C1 over a C2? That's what you're going to have to decide for yourself. I've said this before, those of you that are concerned about the price, I think you should definitely get the C1 over the C2. For the C model, it's definitely going to have to be price versus performance and what do you actually need for your situation. Now, a lot of you guys are probably going to ask me, what about the A series? And I think the A series, most people, and I say most people because there's going to be some that I could recommend it to, but I think most people are probably going to be happier with a C1 or a C2 in the long run over an A1 or an A2. I think especially the A2 because we're talking about launch prices right now, and I definitely wouldn't buy an A model at launch because the C1's probably going to be cheaper than the A2 most likely. You're talking about a 60 hertz panel versus a 120 hertz panel, and so for that reason alone, I think just spending the extra money to get the C1 if you can is the right bet. So those of you in a situation where you don't game or you don't feel like you need a 120 hertz display and you just want to get the cheapest OLED possible, then maybe if you can find an A1 on a really good sales price, it's not a bad option. It's not like it's the worst TV overall. Most people tell you to stay away from it. I'll tell you that it's definitely worth it to spend a little bit more on the C1 if you can, but if the A1 is your only option, it's not terrible. Moving on to the G series, the Gallery series. So the biggest difference between the G2 and the G1 that you really have to understand is going to be the heat dissipation technology. Some call it the heatsink, some call it the heat plate. Call it what you want. It's there to help the OLED run a little bit more efficiently and a little bit brighter. This is something we saw in the A90J, and it was absolutely tremendous. Will it work the same in the G2? I'd imagine it would, but this could be a different technology than what Sony is using. We'll have to see. The dissipation technology that they are using, they call brightness booster. So this is definitely intended to be their brightest OLED possible. So if you have no budget and you just want to try to get the brightest OLED possible this year, and you're just not sold on QD OLED, or you think this might be brighter than QD OLED, then you might want to take a look at the G2. Those of you that are looking at the C1, maybe take a look at the G1 as well, because you could get the Evo technology for a little bit cheaper, and you can also get a 5-year warranty with your OLED. So that's the really cool, unique thing about the G series, is they all come with 5-year warranties from LG. The other unique thing about the LG G series is that it's meant to be mounted on the wall, which means it doesn't come with a stand. It looks really great on the wall, but those of you that want a stand are going to have to buy one separately, so please keep that in mind. So on the screen right now, I'm going to list all the models, and right next to it, I'm going to have who I think this is for. And now this is just kind of like a quick justification of where you might want to go with your OLED situation, but for more detailed options or more detailed opinions, you could always ask me in the comments below. I'm happy to help. If you found this video helpful or you just liked it overall, please give a thumbs up and consider subscribing, because we're going to have a lot of 2022 TV reviews for you this year. I think you guys are going to love it. For more videos on 2022 TVs, check out the one at the end of this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.